What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to the Wolves Manchester United post-match analysis video, and we will talk about the top 4 race, which is going to be one of the most interesting, one of the most exciting top 4 races, and also the race for the title, the race for against relegation. This Premier League season is really truly special, so let me know first of all who will finish in the top 4 in your opinion. In a previous video I predicted Arsenal and Tottenham to finish in the top 4, mainly because Tottenham are the best team in my opinion out of these 4: Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea and Tottenham. I still think that Tottenham are the best team, even though Tottenham only collected 1 point out of the last 5 games, but the way they played at Anfield in the second half shows me that they can turn it on and they can perform at the very highest level. And Arsenal have the easiest fixtures. Arsenal don't have to play any of the top 6 sides. On the other hand, you know, Manchester United still have to play Man City and Chelsea. And yeah, Tottenham also have to play Man City, but other than that, Tottenham also have pretty good fixtures. And this this Wolves Man United game was very interesting, because Wolves beat Man United and knocked them out of the FA Cup. So I'm sure that Man United was extra motivated to actually win here. And after going 1-0 up, and the Man United started the game very well. They dominated Wolves, they took the game to them, and they scored a good goal through McTominay. Wolves equalized by a really horrendous mistake. De Gea passes it to Fred, who had his back to the field, and he didn't see who closed him down or if they were closing him down, and he lost the ball in front of his goal. And then Jimenez slipped in Jota, who clinically finished it. But the second half, again, Man United started well, and they actually dominated the chances. Man United had like 9 or 10 shots in the second half, even after getting a man sent off. But after the sending off, which I think was the turning point of the game, Wolves started to get a foothold in the game. And with their first or second shot of the second half, Wolves actually scored. But it was, I think, a Smalling own goal. It was, again, ridiculous defending by Smalling and De Gea. And the fact that Mourinho spent £340 million on this team, and before him, Van Gaal spent about 280 million. So this is one of the most expensive Man United teams in the history. And they are nowhere near the Manchester City, nowhere near Liverpool, and they are struggling to finish in the top 4 at the moment. They have 3 losses in the last 4 games, and up next it's Barcelona. So Man United really need to put themselves together, otherwise they are in serious danger of missing out on the top 4, which would be an absolute disaster for them. Because the fact that Man United spent so much money on so many players, and yet these players fail to deliver. I mean, Man United scored less goals than Arsenal, and they conceded more goals than anyone else in the top 4. I think that's where the problem rises. It's very clear. If you look at the Man United games, their defense is just nowhere near good enough. How can Ashley Young still be a starting right back for Man United? I just don't get it. They had 3 years at least to sign a better right back than Ashley Young, and they failed to do so. Antonio Valencia used to play there as well, but he is a winger converted into a right back, and Antonio Valencia is also not a good enough right back. Just take a look at all the top teams and what right backs they have. Manchester City have Kyle Walker, Liverpool have Trent Alexander-Arnold, Tottenham have Kieran Trippier, even Chelsea have Azpilicueta. So every other top 6 side have better defenders and better defense than Manchester United. And I get why Mourinho wanted to sign a big centre-back in the summer, but I also get why the Man United board said, no, you are not signing any big defenders, because he already spent close to 60-70 million on 2 centre-backs, and they are not really performing at the highest level. I think Man United's best centre-back pairing is Bailly and Lindelof, probably. Smalling not good enough, Phil Jones not good enough, but even Bailly and Lindelof can have bad games where they concede a lot of goals. So yeah, let me know what they think about this. Like, Man United spent about 600 or 700 million in the past like 7 or 8 years since Sir Alex Ferguson left the club, and they should be challenging for the title every season. Not just because they are Man United, but because of the investment into the players and into the club. Who makes the transfer decisions? That's the big question at Manchester United. Who is the person, or who is who is responsible for picking out players? Is it the manager? Is it a recruitment team, the scouts? Is it Ed Woodward? Either way, whoever is responsible for picking out the Man United players who they sign, they must be held accountable, because this failure is mostly on them. You can do only so much with the players available, and yes, you guys were right in my previous Man United video that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done an outstanding job, but this is a reality check for Man United. Newly promoted Wolves beating them twice in a matter of weeks. You have to have a wake-up call when that happens. Wolves have nowhere near the financial resources of Manchester United, and frankly, Man United have a better team and a much better squad than Wolves. Yet, you can't really deny that Wolves actually deserve to win both games, because they took their chances, they defended well, and Wolves play very good attacking football. And I'm actually the most impressed of all the smaller sides. I'm actually the most impressed with Wolves. They are in 7th place, and at the moment, if Manchester City win the FA Cup, then even 7th place qualifies for the Europa League in the Premier League, because of how it works. Normally, top 4 is Champions League, 5th place is Europa League, and then 1 Europa League place goes to the League Cup winner, and 1 Europa League place goes to the FA Cup winner. But because Manchester City won the League Cup, and Manchester City could win the FA Cup as well, even 6th and 7th place qualifies for the Europa League. So at the moment, it's a big race between Wolves, Watford, Leicester, even Everton and West Ham want to get that last Europa League spot, which could be a huge achievement. Well, Wolverhampton Wanderers is by far the best promoted side that the Premier League has seen in a very long time. That's huge credit goes to the whole setup at Wolves. I was very skeptical when Wolves got promoted and they were talking about getting into the Champions League in 3 or 4 years, and they put very high ambitions and very high goals on them. And I said, you know, you should just consider it yourself as a Premier League side and try to stay up. But actually, it was a very good ambition and a very good tactic by Wolves to try and strengthen the team as much as possible and build a team who is not only capable of staying in the Premier League, but who is capable of actually trying to challenge for a European place, or at least finish in the top 10. And Wolves have done remarkably well with their recruitment. The Portugal connection is very obvious. Their manager is Portuguese. They have a lot of Portuguese players or players signed from Portugal, and it's actually working for them. And they also signed Rui Patricio, who is the first choice goalkeeper for Portugal, and I think he won the Euros with Portugal as well. So they have some very good and experienced players, but still, they are still a newly promoted side. 2 years ago, they were not even close to getting promoted to the Premier League. Last season they got promoted, they won the championship, very good season, and this season they continued in the same vein of form. And actually, if Wolves have a clever recruitment continuing in the summer, they can actually maybe finish in 6th place next season if one of the top 6 sides have a disastrous season. And that happened before. I mean, in the past like 4 or 5 years, Chelsea had some seasons where they have fallen off a cliff and finished in 10th place, for example. And with the politics and the turmoil going on at Chelsea, I can see that happening. Maybe next season Chelsea will have a bad season and Wolves can sneak into the top 6. About the top 4, that is going to be brutally difficult, because the matter of fact is that the top 6 sides just have so much money, so much resources that it's going to be almost impossible to break into the top 4. But if you aim high, then you can succeed, and that's Wolves, and Wolves have been very impressive this season. So huge congratulations to them, and they could actually win the FA Cup. They have a serious chance. Wolves and Watford will play the FA Cup semi-final. The other semi-final is Man City, Brighton, and Wolves and Watford are probably the best 2 teams in the Premier League, apart from the top 6. So it's quite fitting that one of them could play the FA Cup final. So good luck to both of them, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you guys. Goodbye.